You good to go? Shalom Israel, it's ISUPK Philadelphia. Officer 5000 holding it down to the general get here. Any questions in the classroom? No questions online? Who killed Biggie? Who killed Tupac? All right, so what's been going on? Terrorism.
Buffalo shooting, Roe versus Wade.
Roe versus Wade. Oh yeah, the abortion is crazy. That's a crazy joint right now. I'm already getting hate mail. Shout out, I won't go bar. All right, man. Let's get into this terrorism, man. Let me get Joe. No, let me start at Ezekiel. No, I'll go ahead. Let me get Ezekiel 28:7. Thing about it is Esau think their kingdom ain't gonna fail, and that's the thing about it. That's what makes it so sweet. That's what makes the Bible so poetic, because Esau swear that their kingdom is going to last forever. But one thing we know about great kingdoms is they always fall. Greece fell, Egypt fell, Babylon fell. Every great kingdom fell. You know what I mean? But the thing about America, they think that they never gonna fall. I mean, the scriptures call them a lady that think they never gonna get touched, or a virgin that think they never gonna get touched. You know what I mean? So the good thing about us is we can sit back and watch as Esau takes his L. You know what I mean? You want to tell Esau to hold that L. So who got the scripture? Ezekiel 28:7. Got it?
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 28, and verse 7.
Mm-hmm. As the Lord prophesied into that hubris nation, or America in this case. What?
Come. Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom.
And then when that day happens, when that day comes, when that sword gets drawn upon America, you know what I mean? We just hope that our brothers and sisters ain't caught up in that beautiful day. You feel what I'm saying? We just hope that when that day come, my brothers and sisters ain't caught up in that. And that's why we on these streets every week. That's why we teaching these classes every day. Because we want to make sure that our sisters get spared. You know what I mean? Like it's tough to see people die in this truth. It's tough to see people go through their calamities, go through their troubles in this truth. But it's something that we got to deal with as priests and prophets. You know what I'm saying? And when that one day come, how does a married woman focus on herself? I got you, Thawon Gabar. You want to answer it now? Or you want to wait till the general come? Just text me.
Barack.
All right. Let's get it on. I'll take your questions in the room and online. You up front. Knock, you got it.
Sir. Brother Thawon Gabar asked, how does a married woman focus on herself?
How does a married woman focus on herself? No problem. I'll get the precept and I'll explain. Any other questions? All right, stand by then. You're going to go to 1 Corinthians, the 7th chapter, right? Bear with me. 1 Corinthians 7 and 32. Try that. See how that is for you, all right? To the brother's question, he said, how does a married woman focus on herself? Okay, now, of course, your situation is a specific situation. So I cannot answer it specifically, right? I can only answer it in general. So I'm going to give you an in general answer to a situation that more than likely for you is very specific. Ask the question again. Maybe they didn't hear you. Mhm. 1 second. Try it now.
Like the brother asked, how will a married woman focus on herself?
Okay, once again, can they hear him, Mark, or not? Solid. Okay. You might have a situation that requires a more in-depth answer. I'm just going to give you a in general answer to that question. All right. Read 1 Corinthians 7 and 32.
1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 32. But I would have you without carefulness. He that is unmarried careth for the things that belong to the Lord.
If a person is unmarried, right, then they careth about the things that belong to the Lord. What things belong to the Lord? The temple, the school, the camp, the work of the Most High, building up the Israelite school of UPK, for example. A man can be totally focused on that as long as he doesn't have a wife. Continue.
Okay. How he may please the Lord.
That's it. That's all your life is about, pleasing the Most High. Continue.
Okay. But he that is married careth for the things that are of the world.
But if a man is married, then he has to care about the things that are of the world. What things are of the world? Rent, shelter, clothing, food, all of the things that a man has to think about because he has a family to take care of her. But being kind to her, spending time with her, things that a man has to think about because he has a family to take care of. Spending time with the children. Hear me? Solid. All right. Keep reading.
Verse 34. There is a difference also between a wife and a virgin.
A wife and a virgin. Go ahead. What's a virgin? A woman who is of marriageable age, but who is not married yet in this particular case. Go ahead.
The unmarried woman careth for the things of the Lord.
I appreciate it, Warrior. If the woman is unmarried, then she cares about the things of the Most High. That sister cares about building the Israelite school of UPK, making sure the brothers at camp have food, making sure that she supports in every way possible the exaltation of her school. That's all her life is because she doesn't have a husband. She doesn't have children. Continue.
Okay.
There's a sister in the New Testament called Anna who did that all day in the temple because she was a widow. And her whole life was the temple, was the school. Continue.
Okay. The unmarried woman careth for the things of the Lord, that she may be holy both in body and in spirit.
Keep going.
But she that is married careth for the things of the world.
But she that is married cares for the things of the world. What are the things of the world? Rent and bills and food and shelter and clothing and spending time with him and spending time with the children. She has to focus on things that are of the world because she has a husband and because she has a child. So now, to the brother's question, what does a woman do? How does a woman, say the question again?
He said, women feels they have given much to those around her, and although she is married, she feels that she has to invest into herself now.
Okay, once again, the question is starting to sound like a lie that's on the TV and been on TV since when I was a child. That a woman has to learn to love herself more, to take time for herself more, which is really just a veiled attempt for companies to sell women things so they can give themselves self-care, right? It's people selling things to women. Which is why if you have a daughter, it's such a danger, because having a daughter is like having a baby that never grows up. She's constantly trying to be hustled, and everyone is trying to take advantage of her at all times. So the internet and the TV and the radio has always been full of love yourself more self-care. Girl, you got to look out for you, which inevitably will mean buy this, because this will make you feel like you're in a spa. Take these staycations over to these places. Come buy this thing, because this thing will pamper you more. Get this foot massager. Get this vibrator. Get this thing, because you, girl, you got to look out for yourself. So once again, I'm going to push that to the side, and I'm going to tell you what every sister must do so that she can care about herself. It's right here in this precept. Read it one more time.
1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 32. But I will have you without carefulness. He that is married.
Let's skip down to the woman now.
Verse 34. There is a difference also between a wife and a virgin. Mm-hmm. The unmarried woman careth for the things of the Lord.
Unmarried woman, all she has to care about is the things of the Most High. Listen carefully. Go ahead.
That she may be holy, both in body and in spirit.
That she may be holy both in body and in spirit. So once you get married, right, now you have to care about the things of the world. But how do you take care of yourself? How do you look after yourself? By being to care for your husband. Keep caring for your husband. Also care for the Most High. That's how you do. That's how you now take care of yourself. Because if you weren't married, what would you be doing? Nah. Taking care of the things of the Most High, right? So now that you are married, there are things for him you have to do. If you want to look out for yourself, also take care of the things of the Lord. Why? Because that is what a man does that's married in the UPK. A brother that's married in the school, he has to go spend time with his wife. He has to see her. Some of you brothers, you refuse to take a day off from camp. So your camp leader will just organize a day where you're off. So you can go take that woman to see Doctor Strange in the multiverse. So you can take her to a Broadway show down there in New York, or take her to some hotel and dive fire to a hotel for 3 days. Some of you won't take a day off, so a camp leader will just say, take a day off. Or you go to your camp leader and say, listen, can I get a day off? Because I'm a married man and I have to go be with my rib. The same thing with your children. Things they have to do and go to. You get a day off from the work of the Most High. You get the time off to go handle those things because you must, because you're married. But you also take care of the things of the Lord. And that's what makes you holy. Right? That's what makes you holy. If you're a married sister in the school, you feed that husband, you provide for him, you're virtuous for him, and you also make sure that you're not jealous, because that you do for God. Do you understand? That you do for the Lord, right? You're making sure that you're not wrapped up in jealousy and in envy, because that's for God. That's for the Most High. That's what you can say about yourself. That can give you honor as a woman. That's what honor is. I always like to define honor as, there's something I want to say about myself that I have to earn the right to say about myself. And that's honor, right? And so there are certain things I do that are not, the law doesn't say I have to do them, but I want to say I'm that kind of person to myself. So I have to earn the right to tell myself I'm that kind of person. And there are things that a woman could do. A married woman can tell herself, well, I don't go through my man's phone. I don't go through my phone. I don't go through his phone. I might go through his phone and he'll never know about it. But I would know about it. And then I lose my honor. I don't go and, go all through my, chase my husband up and down the street with a knife or do all kinds of sneaky, underhanded whore things, keep secrets from my husband because I'm a closeted attention freak and I need attention constantly. My husband might never know about it, right? But I would know. If you have a husband, don't forget that you also have to please the Most High. And that's what a woman does for herself. That's what she does for herself. She can't be a jealous bitch and give herself license to be a jealous bitch because she's married. So now she has the right now to just go through your phone, go on social media and search you out, create a fake, what's the thing called? A fake page so she can go. Now, you'll never know, but she knows. So she's not able to tell herself that she isn't given over to jealousy. A woman has to care about her spirit, the kind of person she is. And that's up to you. Your husband can't decide that you're a good person. Your husband can't make you a good person. Your husband can't yell at you enough, chastise you enough, teach you enough to force you to please God. A man can't do that to any woman. A man can't do that for another man. A woman is going to have to tell herself, I do this because I believe. Let me give you another thing that women do sometimes. Sometimes a woman will just believe in whatever God her man believes in. That's it. You a Muslim, you from Philly, Knox, so I'm going to tell you. Every woman in Philly becomes Muslim. They all dressed up like Muslims. And of course, none of them believe in the tenets of Islam. But all of them, they want a husband. And all the men are Muslim. So if you want a woman in Philly, inevitably, you're going to have to go become Muslim for at least a couple of weeks so that you can get one of these brothers from the streets who you relate to and who you're attracted to, but they want to see women who are dressed like ninjas or else they don't want to marry you. Well, you're going to have a lot of sisters in Philly wearing the hijab and the shishab and taking the shahada. That's all to get a man. But that same Muslim woman takes him to child support court, smokes weed and pops pills because she doesn't believe in Islam anyway. She was just trying to do it to get a man. So many women do that. So many men are into, spiritual things and religious things, and women just get into it because they want a husband. But the problem is with the Israelite school of UPK is this is not something that you can fake. You can fake Islam because all Muslims are really faking. You can fake Christianity because all Christians are really talking about God, but not actually obeying him. But if you come into the UPK for a man so you can get a husband, you're going to be put to the test to see if you believe. Oh, please believe it. You're going to be put to the test. If you married him and you all Yahweh Shemalitha, when he gets another woman, we're going to see what you believe in. Because now this is it. You believe, right? Well, he has another wife. And you believe Yahweh Shemalitha about Shem Yahweh Shai. No sweat. He has another wife. Now it's time to see if you believe. Now we'll know. Now, if you're doing that and going through his phone and making fake Facebook pages and talking to your ex so you can feel good because you feel like he's taking advantage of you, so now you have to talk to your ex, well, then you should just stop saying Yahweh Shemalitha about Shem Yahweh Shai. That you do for yourself, right? You do that for yourself. Maintain your integrity for yourself if you're a woman, not for your husband, but for yourself. Anything else?
Another question. School politicians and others push our children to follow their dreams, quote unquote. How should we deal with that so our children don't grow up to waste their potential?
Well, the Israelite school of UPK teaches children to follow their dreams. We just let them know what the good dreams are and what the bad dreams are. You get my point? There are some dreams that are terrible, terrible dreams, right? And there are other dreams that are good dreams, and you should absolutely follow your dreams. Commandant General Yohana encourages achievement in here. It's encouraged. It's encouraged for you to go to college, for you to become a doctor. I damn sure could use a lawyer by tomorrow. I need somebody to become a lawyer in here. Someone has got to step up and do it. We need lawyers in the Israelite School of UPK because we're under constant attack from enemies. We need doctors that can give sound medical advice, a doctor you could trust. A lot of black people are afraid of doctors, right? But what if we had a doctor in the truth? Some doctor that you could really look at him and he knows the law, knows the commandments, and you know that he went into the world of medicine and is making sure that what he gives to the people is what is right and decent in medicine. That we don't need that. We need a ton. We need 100 of them. And we also need mechanics. And we also need somebody that can fix all these cameras and computers and all this nonsense in there, which I don't know anything about. And to fix these lights and to do this and electricians. And we need cooks to cook that Passover lamb and to cook the many high holy days that we have constantly. We need people that can put macaroni and cheese together in a decent and proper way. We need so many different things. There are good dreams that you have, and you absolutely are encouraged by Commanding General Yohana to pursue those dreams. Now, the dreams of people in the world are usually what you can do for them. And that's what you have to be careful of with people in the world. It's usually, this person's selfish need who will encourage your selfish need. And selfishness is a dream that really you're going to wake up from one day and know it's a nightmare. You can't have a dream that's selfish. Dream for your nation. What does your nation need? Dream for them. What do your people need? Become that. Do the thing that people need you to be. Become that thing, as opposed to the thing that you want to be. The thing that you want to be is going to fail because it's about you. And inevitably, something else that you want to be will supersede the dream that you want to be. You want me to explain it to you? Right now, you might want to be, there's many people that want to play basketball and become rappers, right? And they love rapping and they love basketballing and they love sports. But then they will also love smoking weed and hanging out all night and drinking every damn thing in sight and having sex with every whore. And before you know it, they get 5 women pregnant and they have a cocaine habit and they smoke weed. So now they're not going to play basketball anymore. So you see how they wanted basketball, but they also wanted to get high. And eventually the thing that you want more is going to supersede the dream. So wanting something for yourself is just not good enough. That's not good enough, all right? You're going to have to want the right thing. Everyone understands. Next.
Just says, there any scriptures to support how you should mourn the loss of a pet, or if you're not supposed to, and if it's lawful or unlawful to have pets?
To mourn the loss of a pet? Proverbs 28. I believe it's 28 and 10. Tell me what it says when you get it.
Proverbs chapter 28, verse 10. Whoso causeth the righteous to go astray?
Not that. Bear with me. Okay. One second. Stand by. I'm about to give it to you now, right? It's on the tip of my 1 second. It's close. It's close. I'm almost remembering. I want to say it's. Oh, it's right here. Hold up, everybody. Proverbs. Look around. Hold up. Proverbs 82 and 12 and 10. See if that's there. Proverbs 12 and 10. To the sister's question, it is absolutely lawful to mourn for the loss of a pet. That's lawful in the Bible. Not only is it lawful, it's righteous to do it. There is no law against kindness. You understand? There's no law against compassion. There's no law against caring for something. There's no law against that at all. The problem with this world is cruel. This is a terrible place, and this world has no compassion. But it is absolutely righteous to mourn for a pet that you have cared for. Go ahead.
Proverbs 28, verse 10. A righteous man regardeth the life of his beast.
Read that one. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
You had something? Salaki.
Proverbs 12 and 10.
Proverbs 12 and 10. That's where we are. Go ahead.
A righteous man regardeth the life of his beast.
You hear that? A righteous man regardeth the life of his beast. Let me tell you what is unlawful. What you brothers and sisters do to these cats and dogs is terrible. That's a terrible thing, man. You buy the goddamn cat, you get the cat. The minute the cat pisses on the rug, you throw the cat outside in the damn street. You didn't know that cats might piss on the rug when you bought a cat? You've never heard of that before in your life. So really, you bought that cat with no intention of going through any uncomfortability when you bought the cat. That's why the neighborhoods are riddled with cats, because they were in your house. That's your cat. That's your cat coming to my door every day for food. Your cat. So now I got to feed your goddamn cat now, because the minute the cat scratched your leather couch, scratched something in your house, you threw the cat outside. And I've always wanted to say, so when you got the cat, was it like, did you go to the pet place and like, listen, give me the cats that never pee, that never scratch? I'll take that one. All right, I'm assuming they gave you just a regular cat like they give everybody else. So you didn't know that there might be a time where this cat does something that you don't like. Well, the minute the cat did it, you threw the cat outside, you stopped feeding it. Forget about that dog that you got that you never knew you had to walk. You got some dog in some back room defecating all over the room. Nobody even goes into that basement anymore because there is a dog down there, skinny as this rod behind me. No, you never clean up after the dog. You never take the dog outside. You never walk the dog. You don't care about the goddamn thing. There is a law against that. There's a law against being cruel to an animal. That's not righteous, and it's disgusting to do it. And it says something about who you are. You don't believe me? Ask the FBI. They know who's going to be a future serial killer. They know. They'll just look at how you treat your pets. And so many of you black women, you treat your husband the way you treat that cat. Same way. You come on in, come live with me. Come into my home. Hold up, were you talking to that girl? Get out. Get out of my house. The woman kicks you out every week. Get out, get out. You're the cat. That's you. When she invited you in, she expected the man to come into a house who gives her no problems and no arguments, right? But they don't make men like that. You got a regular old man, which you might argue sometime with, and he might want another woman. But you kick him out the minute you're displeased. You do that to cats, you do it to people. And that's what you'll find. You'll find that people will treat animals the way they treat people because it's the same muscle. It's compassion. It's empathy. To feel sorry for something. And so many women who you go live with, they don't feel sorry for you. And so many men who beat women with extension cords and punch them in the face like they're men, that is what they'll do to that pit bull. They'll go take that pit bull and go fight that pit bull somewhere and tie chains around his damn neck and make him carry chains twice his weight every day because they feel tough seeing that pit bull outright with chains all around his neck that they never touch and never help. And the pit bull is starving to death and you're training him like a boxer because you're a failed athlete. Your athletic career failed. So now the dog has to make the NBA now. Now the dog has to get a damn scholarship. Because you're cruel. And there is a law against animal abuse. And it's right here. I'm reading it right here. Read it one more time.
Proverbs 12, verse 10. A righteous man regardeth the life of his beast.
You got to care about your beast. Care about his life. Is he getting walked? Is the cat happy? Damn. Is the dog happy? Is this a happy pet? Did I go and give this? Am I giving this animal a good home? Am I feeding him? Is it better in here with me than with someone else? And if it's not, give that animal away. Give it to somebody else because you don't have the compassion to take care of something that can't scream for help. Some of your animals, I pray they can learn to talk one day because you're so evil to them. They need to get the ability to call 911, some of your damn dogs and cats. But because your dog and cat can't talk, can't scream for help, you do anything to them. Continue.
But the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel.
The tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. Feel compassion on that animal. Don't be cruel to that animal. That is a precept against animal cruelty. It's right here in the Bible. Here it is. Continue. Any more?
He that tilleth his land shall be satisfied with bread.
It is going into your house, man. How you work hard. That's what that animal requires. Hard work. You get a dog, you're asking for something to walk at least twice a day. That's what you're asking for. That's what you want. You're deciding, I want a reason to walk in a park 2 times a day, and get down there and pick up that dog mess too. Get a damn plastic bag and pick up the droppings of your dog, you nasty bastard. People are walking all around that park. You're selfish. You think about this now. Think about doing what I'm telling you to do in the name of God. And then one day, this animal who you brought into your house, and you know you've given this dog a good life. You've given this cat a good life. Your children have played with the dog. They've learned excellent lessons that a child can learn from a pet. A pet can be such, education. You get your child a hamster or a gerbil or something, they got to feed every day and change the cage. Or a cat, they have to change that litter, or a dog, they have to walk. That child will learn excellent lessons about compassion and responsibility from a pet. And you did this for years, and then one day that pet dies. And you look at that pet and you go, I did my job for that pet while he was alive. You feel honor. You're able to say, that pet is dead now, but we gave him a good home, damn it. That cat had a good home up in here. That dog, there's a cat around here somewhere, isn't it? That cat is having a good life in here. That cat gets brushed. There's a UPK cat brush somewhere in here. Where is it at? She'll put it on camera. Thank you. Here's the cat brush. This is for the UPK cat. That's just for the comfort and happiness of that cat. Just so he can be touched and petted. Get a UPK cat a hand. The Philly Cam cat. Oh, he getting kisses and touches and love and getting cared for. And he was out there on the hard Philadelphia streets. Guess where I found that cat? On my porch. Because somebody put that cat outside. That's exactly where he came from. This cat kept coming to my goddamn door because he's a house cat. But somebody kicked a little ass kitten out their damn door. And of course, Commander General Yohana took it in. When that cat dies, we can look at ourselves and say, oh, our hearts are kind. We're not cruel. Everyone understands. Good to go. Next question. No.
If I could, sir, is there any way to explain like dementia in the scriptures or any type of memory loss?
Okay, dementia is another curse, a plague, a sickness. You can just pull any precept for that. In the spiritual realm, it's a demon. In the physical realm, it's a disease. It's a disease that sometimes can go through your family line, just like demons can go through your family line. So you want to pull any precept that you have for sickness and illness. All right? Good to go. Next.
Brother wants to break down, sir, 1 Corinthians 10 and verse 24. I'm going to 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 24. Let no man seek his own, but every man another's wealth.
That's exactly what I brought out earlier about fulfilling your dreams and seeking your dreams. Let no man seek his own, but every man another's wealth. As you grow up and become a man, you want to think not only about yourself, but what does your nation need? What do your people need? And you want that to temper all of your desires. Every desire you have, you run that through your desires. Well, what can this do for my people, for my nation? And you think about that because that's in the Bible, which is why I said it, all right? Next.
Sister says, Salakia, how do you respond to someone who says the Bible was written by a white man and manipulated over time?
Well, you just show them that that's not true, because the Bible, of course, was not written by a white man. The men that wrote the Bible were Israelites. All Israelites are black and Hispanic. Every last one. You go to the usual precepts, Isaiah 34. The Bible was inspired. Men of God were inspired by him to write this book. The Bible was written by the prophets of God. Records written down by scribes, men who sat down and wrote the stories that were passed down throughout generations about great men like Jeremiah, Isaiah, Ezekiel, and the letters of Paul, letters that Paul wrote while he was in prison to the schools that he established all throughout Asia Minor, Thessalonica, Ephesus, Corinth, and Rome. These letters were kept with great confidence, kept with great, at the peril of their lives, keeping these records. Because the white man was trying to kill them and destroy these records. And they had to hide them in clay pots and dig holes in the ground and hide them, because the Roman Empire sought to find these records and burn every last one. And they risked their lives to keep these records here today. And then later on, after the peril was over, or the immediate danger of death was over, they came out of hiding and they began to rewrite these records down. Remember, this is back when they didn't have printing presses. So they wrote them by hand. Monks went up in the mountains. The Benedictine monks and the Franciscan monks went up into the mountains and rewrote these, which were black men at the beginning of Christianity, back during a time when before Christianity allowed in the other nations so that they could be accepted by the other nations. Monks who refused to do it went up and hid in mountains and made monasteries and would rewrite these records over and over again. Then they hit them again, because then the Romans again sought to kill them. Then the war between the Eastern Empire of Rome and the Western went on. And that's where you have these Russian icons. And they had to hide the Russian icons, because by then, white people had totally taken over Christianity in Rome. And now they sought to destroy any proof that black people were the prophets of God. And they went out to burn all of these images that we have right now on these walls of what they call today the Russian icons. They called it idol worship, and they sought to kill everyone that had them and to burn every picture of a black Jesus, of a black disciple of Christ. These things you can look up. That's all. You can just Google this now. I had to go to the library and look these up for myself when I was young in the truth. Now you can just Google what I'm talking about right now. And this is what happened. And it was the Neri against the Galapi, the black against the white. Okay, someone find that real fast. The Neri, the great schism, the Neri against the Galapi. I'm probably mispronouncing Galapi, but it means white. All right, you of course can hear that Neri is black. All right, on the Latin for black. I got to move on, but you just pull the precepts in the Bible about the book of the Lord. And then, of course, you can look into the Bible dictionary and see the Bible was translated, but not written by the people today that we get Bibles from. It was translated. Now, to make sure that their translation is correct, you have to learn Hebrew. You got to go learn Hebrew. You got to go learn that Greek. And by learning it, you can double check the translation, which is what Commanding General Yohana and the men that passed the school down to him did. We went into the Bible and we found that the word God? No, is it God? It's like 5 times though the translation is wrong. Instead of saying, it shouldn't say Holy Ghost, it should say Holy Spirit. That is the white people who were translating that Bible, trying to put their dogma, their superstition into the Bible, and they believed in ghosts. And so instead of saying spirit, they said ghost. Instead of saying God, it should say power. The white people who were translating the Bible, they believed in the Greek gods. It should say power instead of God. Give me another one. Passover. Instead of saying Easter, there's a scripture where it says Easter. It should say Passover. It's two more. Instead of saying Jehovah, it should say the Lord's holy name, which is Yahweh. But of course, we went and learned Hebrew, so we double-checked the translation of white people. But the Bible was written by black and Hispanic men. Hosea was a black man. Jeremiah was a black man. He said so. Isaiah, Solomon was a black man. He said so. Jesus Christ is a black man. It says so in the Bible that he's black. Everybody gets it. Yeah. What, we got a translation?
Oh, sorry.
Neary. One of them is Neary. That's definitely it. Western, the war between the Western. You can just look up what Neary is for sure one of them. And Galape or something like that. It means black and white. All right. Next. Come on.
If I could, I was just thinking about how people always say that the Apocrypha are not a part of the Bible. You know what I'm saying? When you go straight to First Maccabees, it just show you that the Caucasian people, the Greeks, were the enemies of the Jews.
There you go.
So that's always a good place to go. When you show people that white people didn't write the Bible, that's like, well, who's they good when they was the Greeks and the Romans?
There you go. White people are the villains of this book.
Right.
They're the villains in the Bible, white people. They didn't write it. All right, next. Next question.
Brothers and shalom. So y'all watch the show. So like you know, when I get a breakdown of Leviticus chapter 12 and verse 6. Also, I wanted to know if the time of purifying is only for her, not being able to come around, or does that include no intimacy for that time period?
Okay, throughout California, the captain, he gave me the precept I asked for earlier. Pull the precept that whoever wanted to read, pull it for him.
Come. The book of Leviticus, chapter 12, verse 2. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if a woman hath conceived seed and born a male child, then she shall be unclean 7 days. According to the days of the separation of her infirmity, she shall be unclean. And in the
1 second, let me find this Neary thing for the brother. You need my help with it, you die? Great Schism is pretty simple. You just gotta find Neary and Galapi. I'm pronouncing it wrong, but it's Neary, Jalopi, something like that. All right, go ahead.
You want the scripture, sir?
Yeah, the precept that he asked me to break down.
Leviticus chapter 12, verse 2. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if a woman hath conceived seed and born a man child, then she shall be unclean 7 days.
Go ahead. Come on.
According to the days of the separation of her infirmity, she shall be unclean.
Mm-hmm.
And in the 8th day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised.
Is this his question about this whole process?
Come.
Okay, you have a child. If you have a male child, you're unclean for 40 days. The woman is unclean for 40 days. Now, after 7 days, she's allowed a time out in the uncleanness to come into the temple and have the boy circumcised. All right? Continue.
Okay. And she shall then continue in the blood of her purifying 3 and 30 days.
Then the timeout is over. She goes back out of that temple and she goes back to being unclean until she makes 40 days. Everybody gets it. Go ahead.
She shall touch no hallowed thing,
Meaning,
nor come into the sanctuary.
meaning she can't come to the Passover. She can't come into the sanctuary. She can't be around the people when they're performing the holy convocations. She's away. She's unclean for 40 days. Go ahead.
Until the days of her purifying be fulfilled.
Until her uncleanness is through. Now she can come to the Feast of Booths, the Feast of Tabernacles, the Feast of whatever. She can come to the class. She can come to the High Holy Days because she's done her 40 days. Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 5. But if she bear a maid child, then she shall be unclean 2 weeks, as in her separation.
That's a girl, right? Then she's unclean 2 weeks, as in her separation, meaning like when she has a period. Go ahead.
Okay. And she shall continue in the blood of her purifying 60 days.
She takes it all the way down to 80. She has 80 days she's unclean. So if you have a girl child, you're unclean 80 days. No Passover, no high holy days, no class, no camp. You're away from the people as they're performing their holy service to the Lord. You can't be part of it. Continue.
Okay, verse 6. And when the days of her purifying are fulfilled for a son or for a daughter, she shall bring a lamb of the first year.
Skip down past this. These are the sacrifices that now are not good enough anymore. You got to do more than this now. But that's the sacrifices that at one time were good enough. Anything else? What was this question again?
So you also wanted to know if the time of purifying is only for her not being able to come around, or does that include no intimacy for that time period?
The time of purifying is only for her not to come around. That's what this is about. This is about her not coming around the high holy days into the temple. That's what it's about. Now, what you absolutely should follow is, as the laws that doctors say, the time that you should not have sex with your wife. Don't go in there and kill the woman. I think it's like 6 weeks or something like that. You want to wait until the woman's body is able to have sex again. And I believe doctors, I think it's 8 weeks or something like that. All right. You want to go by that. But after that, then the usual laws of sex apply to her. You get my point. But you're not unclean for 80 days or 40 days at all. You can lay down in the bed with her. You can be with her. She just can't come into the temple and do the things that everyone else can do. Go ahead.
I have a question, sir. Is it a significant difference, a woman? Is it a big difference, a female and a male, like the numbers?
The difference is double. Is that your question? Was it a significant difference? Yeah. It's 40 days for a male. It's 80 days for a girl. Is your question, why is it double? Okay, well, I couldn't. There's no law that says why it's double, but I do know the Bible says this, that every woman has to be careful that she does not carry on the sin of Eve. There are so many things in the Bible that are specifically making it more difficult for a woman because she is the one that brought death into this world, women. And because of that, there is a special ceiling put over their head so that they can always know not to go too far. Because a woman going too far is how we have the COVID-19 virus, monkeypox, prison, and slavery. And so because of that, the Bible in specific does things to keep a woman's lust for power down, to keep it in check. And a woman has to be put in check. And so this law is like many other laws in the Bible that put women in their place. What do I mean by their place? Under their expectation of power, to make sure that they don't go too far, because a woman's ability to be driven to go too far is why the abortion laws exist. It's why so many things exist, because when she gets thirsty for power, it can kill everybody. It's dangerous. And so the parents, when they have a daughter, this law alone will make the parents go, we have a daughter, she's unclean for 80 days. We have to be careful because we have a daughter. We have to be doubly careful. Already, if you have a son, you better be careful, or else your son won't make it to 16. If you have a daughter, be careful. And it puts everyone in that mind, and that's a good thing. All right, and of course, there are many precepts to support what I just said. That's why I said it. Anything else? Next. And let me get one more on. Someone find Neri for me in Galapia. I haven't seen it in like 5 years. Give him a second. Go ahead. Oh, did you have a question, Yediah, online? Go ahead.
Salaki, sir, what's the school stance on autism?
On what?
Autism.
Autism is a sickness like any other sickness, like many learning disabilities or delays that a lot of children have, right? The school stance on autism is the school stance on everything that's negative and hurtful. Go to war with it. That's the school stance. What's the school stance on schizophrenia? Go to war with it. What's the school stance on that knee you have that's hurting you all the time. Go to war with it. We have one stance on every negative thing. Fight it. That's our stance. You have a child that has autism, and you better go out and get him a behavioral therapist and help him. Take him to the doctor. Train him and educate him and teach him and give him special care because he needs it. Don't just let him become a wild animal. Don't give up. Don't say, my kid has autism. Oh, well, nothing I can do about that. And now he's going to kill himself and kill someone else. You have a child that has special needs. Fulfill those special needs. That's the stance of the Israelite School of UPK. Fight it. Anything else? Come on.
Come on, sir. Represent the scripture. Leviticus 15:16 refers to a man's seed and how he is unclean because his seed comes out of him until the eve
Right.
when he washes.
Right.
Is there any precept that says the same for women, or is it specific to men only? He says, so if a woman masturbates, is she now unclean until she washes to the eve, or is that specific to men?
Well, young man, women don't have seed, young brother. All right. It's okay. It's all right. Only men have seed. So there is no precept about women's seed because they don't have seed. Everybody understand? Okay, all right. Next question. Go ahead.
Sir.
Mhm.
Says Salaki. Romans 6:3-6, and 8 and 9. Does this relate to water baptism? I know baptism is being filled with the word follows the laws and the commandments. Can you break this down, sir? Both for sure.
Go ahead, please.
Romans chapter 6, verse 3. Know ye not that so many of us as were baptized into Jesus Christ were baptized into his death?
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, we are buried with him by baptism into death.
He asked me just to break this down. Is that what he said?
Yeah.
All right, this is a born again precept, sister. Born again, right? It's using the example of how Christ died and went into a sepulcher and then was raised from the dead and now lives forever. He's using that example to the change that you and I must make to serve Christ. You and I will also have to die. We'll all have to die, except unlike Christ, our death will not be physical, but it will be just as extreme as his physical death. And now I'll break this precept down for you. Go ahead and read it.
Romans chapter 6, verse 3. Know ye not that so many of us were baptized into Jesus Christ? Were baptized. Know ye not that so many of us were baptized into Jesus Christ, were baptized into his death?
Into his what?
His death.
We were baptized into his death. Into his death, meaning because he died, it cleansed us, which is what baptized means. The term baptized means to cleanse, to clean. And so many of us, we were cleansed by the death of Christ. Because he died, now I stopped smoking weed. I stopped murdering people. I stopped hurting people. I stopped child molesting. I stopped stealing. I stopped being a prostitute because this man died for me. Now, knowing that and understanding that, I can no longer live the kind of life I lived because I know that someone had to die so I could have a second chance. It cleanses you. It changes you, realizing that someone else made the ultimate sacrifice for you. The first feeling you'll feel is absolutely unworthy of it. Is why in the hell would he do something like that? Why would he die for me when I'm nothing and deserve to die? And then after you realize that you're right, you don't deserve it. And then you set about trying to deserve it. And you change yourself so that you can be worthy of such a great sacrifice. That cleanses you. It changes you. Everyone understand? Continue.
Verse 4. Therefore, we are buried with him by baptism into death.
Therefore, we are buried with him. The same way he was buried into that sepulcher or that grave or that tomb, we are in the tomb as well. Meaning, what do I mean when I say we? Your old person. Your slave name, that person you were, they're dead and gone. They're buried. They're in there with him. That person that you were has to die, just like he did. Continue.
Okay. That like as Christ was raised up from the dead.
That just like Christ was raised from the dead. Go ahead.
Okay. But that like as Christ was raised from the dead by the glory of the Father.
Meaning the Most High rose him from the dead with his power. Keep going.
Even so, we also should walk in the newness of life.
Even so, we should walk in the newness of life. It's about how you behave after you know that Christ died for you. Your old person also dies, and now a new person walks in a new life. Now you behave differently, which is what walk means. Walk is a synonym for behavior. For you walking in something, meaning you're doing something. No. Walk the walk is the perfect example. Now I'm walking the walk now. So now I'm behaving like Christ. I'm behaving differently because I realize he died for me. And that knowledge is a burden. It changes you when you understand it. It changes you. And once you understand it, your old person goes in the grave, a new person comes out. Right, now you're brand new. Now you behave differently. Now you get a new name because you're a new person, new family because you're a new person, new behavior because you're a new person. Everyone understands. Is that it? I'm sorry, up front.
Can I please get a general breakdown of Galatians 2 and 16 for the show?
Solid.
This is the book of Galatians, chapter 2, verse 16.
To be right. That's what justified means. To be right. Well, by the works of the law, none of us are right. That's what that's talking about. Why aren't we right? Because we've broken the law, right? We've broken the law, so we're not right according to the law. So because we have broken the law, what do we have to do now? We got to have faith. What does faith mean? What is faith? Work. Give him a hand. Work. Right? Once again, this is hard to understand if you haven't been to jail before. A lot of you have not been to jail. That's a good thing. But I'll explain it to you because I understand it. You break the law, so you go in front of this judge, and the judge will let you out of jail under certain conditions. He won't just open the door and just let you the hell out, right? But a judge will let you out under certain conditions. Does anyone know those conditions at all? Sis in the back? Give her a hand, that's all. All right. The judge doesn't say, yeah, you can go home, just, keep breaking the law all you want. A judge lets you out of prison once you're a criminal, once you're a felon, once you have a record. He lets you out under certain conditions. Let's find it. Alexa, what are the conditions of parole in most states?
Here's something I found on the web. According to LATimes.com, parole conditions often include pledges by the parolee to live in a certain place or to avoid associating with certain groups of people.
Alexis, pause. Here's the first condition. You can't go around those people you were around before. That's a condition of parole in America. Well, what does the Most High require you when you come into the truth? You can't continue. Come on. You got to change your walk. You're going to have to be different. You can't still hang around the same people you were around. Sister, those women you were hanging around in the world, you should stop hanging around with them. For the same reason, a parolee is court ordered. Do you understand a court tells you who your friends can be? They're going to tell you who your friends can be. And you think I take too much power over you. I don't take enough power over you. If I tell you not to go around your friends, you should do it. Because a judge is going to say it. They're going to say, you cannot associate. Did I play it just now on here? I believe I just had Alexa tell you. Here's the first condition. You cannot go around those people you were going around before. You can't go around them. So do I give a damn that you're not around your mother anymore? She's the problem. Your friends, they're the problem. All of your classmates and high school buddies and the crew you rolled with, they're the reason you ended up in this court. Them. So if you're going to get a second chance, if you're getting parole, you can't go around them anymore. If you don't believe God, then do it for the devil when they tell you the exact same thing. Alexa, what are the conditions of parole in America? Can they hear her?
Here's something I found on the web. According to adopt.club, standard parole conditions are similar throughout most jurisdictions and usually include not committing crimes, not carrying a weapon.
Alexa, pause. Here's another condition. You can't commit more crime. Right? That's just logical. Well, if you are going to be forgiven for being unjust, for not being right, you cannot do it again. The act of not doing it again is faith. That's what faith is. That's the work of faith. You're not going to be justified because of your past record. The only way to stay out of jail now is your current behavior. Having a good current behavior is faith. That's what it is. That's the definition of it. Alexa, what is doing something in good faith?
Here's something I found on the web. According to Answery.com, lemon is very good for faith.
Oh, stop it. Alexa, stop. Someone looked that up. That's what that term is, a legal term. All right. Good faith. All right. It's you pledging that you're going to do a thing, that you're going to do it. You're going to keep your word in it. And that's having good faith. It's about your conduct, about what you can promise. Everyone understands? No.
Come on. Good faith, Law Dictionary. The contract is like in the contract. The implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing is a general presumption that the parties to the contract will deal with each other honestly.
Will what?
Will deal with each other honestly.
Will what?
Will deal with each other honestly.
That's what faith is, Akim. That's faith. I believe that you will not do it anymore. I believe you'll do the right thing. Well, you can't say that, Lord, you should save me because I've never sold drugs, because you have. Because I've never slept with a woman who had a man, because you have. Because you've never harmed anyone unrightfully, because you have. So your record cannot save you, but your faith can. You can say, I will never do it again. And the Lord can have good faith that that's true. You get my point. That's your breakdown. Next, up in the back. See me one more time, Daniela. No sound correct. Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if you use that example, you say like even other conditions that the Most High sent us to get out of this, and compare like the condition we in now to like prison, that's us on.
Yeah, it's a direct metaphor. We're in hell, and prison is hell. Prison is man's way of putting you in hell. It's the penal system. They're trying to punish you. And this life that we're living here in America, Mexico, Guatemala, Haiti, the UK, Portugal is hell. This is a penal system. We're here to be punished. And everything you've been through in your life is part of the punishment. Every disease is part of the punishment. Everything is about the punishment. Now, just like a prisoner, do you want to get out with good behavior? Do you want it to end? Well, if you want it to end, you have to accept this punishment and keep a good conduct in hell. Because that's exactly what you're expected to do in prison. In prison, they expect you not to make a knife, not to make wine, not to sell drugs. And in an environment where you think to yourself, this is where I absolutely need a knife. Right? If you don't need a knife in prison, where the hell do you need one? If you don't need drugs in prison, then nobody needs drugs. Prison, you damn near absolutely need to get high. Just to not hang yourself, you need to get high. But the penal system decides that this is a place where you cannot get high. And if you're caught with a knife, or you're caught with drugs, or if you're caught abusing of the other inmates, you stay in here longer. Do you understand? They don't give you a break because you're in a bad situation. The rules are worse. And that is what the Most High is doing here. You're in the perfect place to get high. If you grow up in the Black and Hispanic neighborhood, brother, how do you even survive without getting high? It seems impossible to not get high, because you're not some white boy getting high for fun. Your weed is medicine. You need it. You need it to not go crazy. You need it to not kill somebody. You need the weed to just make you not care about your living condition, and it's a living condition that you can't change. So how does anybody even ask you not to get high? The Most High demands that you don't get high, or else you're not getting out with good behavior. You're going to live in that block, in that house, where you smell weed every day. They're smoking weed in the other room of your apartment. Your brother in there getting high tonight. Your mother's in there getting high. Your father's getting high, and you are commanded not to do it, although everyone else is. You're commanded to not do the things that everyone does where you're from, because those people will never get out. Do you understand? Next question. In the back, Miran.
Like, sir, if I may, brother asked me this question on Friday. I just want to double check. When they gave you Yahushua vinegar.
They didn't give you Yahushua vinegar.
It's like, I think it said.
Oh, gall mixed with vinegar?
I think
So, you're right.
Poison,
Gall is poison.
Right,
Did it say gall and vinegar?
This one just said vinegar. I can quote the scripture.
Okay.
But to the point, but I wanted to know.
They gave you Yahushua poison and tried to mask the taste of it, I believe, with vinegar. When I said they didn't give him vinegar, I was thinking about somebody else I battled years ago that said it wasn't poison, it was something else. I forget what it was, but it was poison. They tried to give him poison. Knock.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 34, 27 to 34.
Give him the microphone.
The book of Matthew chapter 27, verse 34. They gave him vinegar to drink mingled with gall.
Right. So the vinegar was to mask the taste of the poison. They tried to give him poison as an act of mercy so that he could die without going through the pain of crucifixion, which was commonplace. The crucifixion was just to scare the people who were watching so they could be afraid to end up there themselves. But sometimes they would allow you some poison so you could die without going through the absolutely excruciating death of suffocating by the weight of your own body, which is what crucifixion does. You suffocate just because you're so heavy and you can't keep your chest up enough to breathe. So you just fold like this, and plus you've been beat to death already. They beat you first so that you can be out of breath, and then they hang you by your hands, and all your weight is on your midsection, and you have to do this to breathe. But eventually you can't do this, and you start to go down, and you just suffocate by the weight of your own body. They gave him poison mixed with vinegar to hide the taste. He tasted it anyway, and he spit it out so he could take the most excruciating death that anyone could ever take. And that's why he's our king, warriors. That's why we model ourselves after him. Next.
Question online.
Go ahead. Say, oh, you said no questions online. So lucky. You didn't find that Neary for me, have you? I like to keep this in a book I left in D.C. D.C., if you're listening, isn't that book I left in the school 20 years ago? I used to keep a book with all these things in it. That was in this book. Neary and Galapi. Jalopy or Galapi? I'm gonna find this. All right, let me give you some precepts I had to go over tonight. Any questions in the room? Okay. Go ahead.
Was Galapi the Ottoman Turkish part?
Does it say Neary? Is it Neary versus the Galapi? Okay. What does Galapi mean? If it doesn't mean white, that's the wrong one. Okay, hold on. Let's go to.
Galapi is the Italian form of the Greek name meaning beautiful city.
But I'm pronouncing it wrong. I'll find it for you. Bear with me. Let's go to Psalms 25. Psalms 25 and 21 to 22. Let me give you one more. Yeah, that's it. That's it for now. Also at the end, then hold Psalms 130 and 7 to 8. All right, you got it.
Book of Psalms, chapter 25, verse 21. Let integrity and uprightness preserve me.
That's a concept that's a very UPK concept that people in the world don't understand. Fake Israelite groups who are just another part of people in the world, religions who are just other people in the world, they don't understand integrity. Like we brought out earlier, integrity is honor. And honor, to think about it the way that I think about it, the way that Commander General Yohana made me understand it, it's something that you want to say about yourself, that you have to earn the right to say about yourself. Something you want to say to yourself, that you have to earn the right to say to yourself. That's honor. That's integrity. It's a thing that you don't do for the sight of other people. You can't get praise for it because in many times no one will even know about it. You can't get honor and glory and rank and power and money for it because in many cases no one will even know that you did it. But it's integrity. You'll know. And you'll be able to tell yourself something great about yourself. And that's a gift in itself, man. That's a gift. Read it one more time.
Oh God. Let integrity and uprightness preserve me.
Let that preserve me. That thing that you do that no one sees, the Most High sees it. He sees it. And because he sees it, he will protect you, preserve you. That's how you defend yourself against terrorism, man. And that's why the Christian church leaves our people with no protection from God, no way to preserve themselves. Because God sees the things done in secret, sees the things that no one else sees. And if you aren't doing things to preserve yourself, then when some devil decides to kill you, when some landlord decides to kick you out, when some court decides to take everything you have, you will not be protected. You won't have any protection. You won't be preserved. You won't be kept. Continue.
For I wait on thee.
I what?
For I wait on thee.
That's what David said. I wait on thee. And that's this condition, man. Like we brought out earlier, we're in hell here, and it's terrible to be here. It's terrible. You have to be afraid to go to the market. You got to be afraid to be in your house. And you're afraid to leave out your house. There's terror within and without. That's in Deuteronomy. Terror when they go out, terror when they come in. That's what it's like being black and Hispanic. You have to be an Hispanic whose your own homeland is so terrible that you're willing to cross a river up to your chin with your child to get out of it. And if you don't die in that river, they'll throw you in a cage when you get to the promised land. When you finally get to the country that you fought so hard and swam across a river to get to, when you get there, the people are going to hate you and throw you in a cage. And this was your path to salvation.
It's a lot of my cousin, it's a car at this place I was at. And I said, how'd you get over here, man? You just swim over that river? He's like, man, it's 2020. You took a boat.
He had enough sense, huh? To ride a goddamn boat. Well, so many don't. So many don't have the money to ride the boat. And they get over here, brother, in terrible ways. West Indians, too. Come over here in the wheel well of a damn jet. Why? Fleeing hell. And they run into oppression in America up front.
If I could, I seen them riding, putting their like teenage children on top of this train that like got them close enough to get over here.
That's the death train. What is? I know muerta is death. Whatever train is in Spanish. Say again. Tren es muerta. Tren del Muerte. That's the famous death train that they piled on top of to get over here because where they live is so terrible, and they're running to get over here and get high and die of drug addiction and dying of fentanyl in America. You die.
You bring out so heavy. That's like Levi escaping Haiti, escaping hell. You get met with pressures on horseback.
A whip. Are you going to get beat as you get over here to America? These conditions don't change by the things that you can see. They don't change by voting. They don't change by marches. They don't change by all of the things, that you look at and can see, oh, they're changing something over there. That's not how it changes. It changes by things change by the things you can't see, by the things you do personally, by you not having sex with this woman. If you want to end black on black crime, then black men will have to treat each other with more dignity. Treat each other with more respect and honor. That's how you end black on black crime. You don't end black on black crime by taking away the guns, by marching. You end black on black crime by me. I'm not going to violate you, and you won't violate me. I won't bump into you coming out the store. I'll make way so you can pass. I won't steal from you. I won't hustle you, and you won't steal from me and hustle me. And now we won't shoot each other because of something that no one sees, because of the small things, the small interactions that we have every day, that we do every day. That ends violence in the black and Hispanic community. And it's something that no one else sees, that no one else knows, but God sees and God knows. Keep reading.
Oh God, redeem Israel, oh God, out of all his troubles.
Redeem Israel out of all his troubles. And we're in trouble, man. We're in absolute trouble with the abortions and the baby formula. And the diseases are going to increase and increase. Now monkeypox is here. And monkeypox, I think they said out of the 12 people that got it, 10 of them are gay men. 10 of them are gay men. Now, how many times is the Israelite School of UPK under commanding General Yohana going to warn people to stop partaking in homosexual acts? We're always doing it, always saying it. And you get angry at us and hate us, but you can't hate monkeypox. Monkeypox won't, you can't push them off the street corner. You can't take away their microphone. You can't call the police on monkeypox or AIDS. All you can do is die from it. When meanwhile, we are trying to save your life. You're going to have to do that thing in private, in secret, where you say, I know why I'm attracted to people of the same sex. I know it's because of my childhood. I know it's because of what I went through. I know it's because of the pain of the trauma that I went through. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to fight it. If Christ can go 40 days without food, then I can fight this demon in my mind. I can fight anything. If a drug addict can go without heroin, you can stop having gay sex. You can do it. Not getting heroin can kill them. They can die from that. And yet they sit and vomit and sweat until the addiction passes. What could you do? Surely you can give up that thing that you think you can't live without, when in actuality, that thing is the reason you're not going to live. Please.
It's like, so you look at the origin of monkeypox, it came out of Africa through, of course, Ham handling bush meat, so killing and eating whatever was in the bush that wasn't as fast as him. Now, we got monkeypox.
Here we go again, breaking the dietary law. All of these laws in the Bible have such a practical reason for existing, all of them. There is no law in the Bible that's spooky or arbitrary. Our unclean laws are practical. A woman not coming around when she's on her period, a woman who had a baby being away from the people, there's a practical reason to it, a health reason, a scientific reason that when a person is unclean, they can't come around people. And the laws against homosexuality have a absolutely practical reason. I had something I had to bring out. I'm gonna do it on Thursday. Wait till I show you the numbers for the people that identify themselves as gay. I'll have to do that on Thursday because I'm out of town. I'm out of town? I'm sorry. Marah. Yeah, we ready or not? Okay, solid. With that, pass the class over to Police Officer Danielle.
Quick security announcement, we ISUPK started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Under Commander Jennifer Johanna, room for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They have to be saluted only. They're here to share themselves to the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Times, which is the commandment, Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 to 10. Meaning, step in Hebrew, my Asherah, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department. Priest fund, true offer for priests. Not mandatory, whatever amount you would like. Of the coming holy convocation, which is, we are in Feast of First Fruits. If any brother wants to be a trooper in school, start to draw black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, Imagine, which means stand, just promise. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Madam Shabbat, Imagine, Barak, Yahweh, Sar, Sisters, Imagine, which means stand. Men of Israel, we're going to give the sisters one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Madam Shabbat, Imagine, Barak, Yahweh Matah, class dismissed.